Hi everyone, I'm Max and welcome to week 10, in which we'll be focusing on biodiversity within natural resource management. I will be discussing the effectiveness of biodiversity mitigation measures using a case study of oyster reef habitat restoration in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales. Let's start with a quick definition of what we'll be discussing. Biodiversity mitigation is the practice of trying to avoid, minimize, restore, or offset any environmentally damaging processes resulting from human intervention. The Climate Ready Aquaculture Incentives Program is a government grant project with the objective of supporting oyster farmers in the Hunter Valley to develop and adopt management practices that increase their resilience to climate change and reduce their damage to local marine habitats. Oyster reefs in Australia and internationally have been degrading severely due to unsustainable harvesting practices, decreasing water quality, pest species, and drastic shore erosion. This grant is awarded to oyster farmers that are willing to collaborate with local land services to stabilise foreshore areas, implement erosion control measures, and increase resilience to climate change within their business practices. These restorative objectives were implemented through the installation of coir logs, mangrove replanting projects, and foreshore reconstruction using oyster shell waste. Additionally, the program educates oyster farmers regarding ongoing maintenance of these improvements and ways they can reduce emissions or waste in their day-to-day activities in oyster farming. Now for the big question: does biodiversity mitigation work? Well, in the case of oyster reef restoration in the Hunter Valley, yes, it does. In collaboration with the University of Newcastle and the University of the Sunshine Coast, local land services was able to map out and monitor the restored aquatic areas for habitat growth and native species populations. In both cases, there were signs of significant success, and this success was intrinsically connected. Oyster reefs that had been restored through the grant and had become self-sustaining had seen an increase in native marine species in the nearby monitoring points. The Climate Ready Aquaculture Incentives Program has been an overall success for struggling oyster farmers in the Hunter Valley and has assisted in the global fight for climate-conscious marine farming, although it is a clear indicator that biodiversity mitigation projects require immense planning and careful monitoring to be successful. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to further discussion on this topic.